Hey everyone, and welcome back to today's Explainer. So, have you ever looked at your household finances and just felt completely baffled? I mean, you and your partner are both working incredibly hard. You're bringing in two solid paychecks, and by all traditional measures, you should be absolutely thriving, right? Yet somehow, at the end of the month, things are painfully tight. Well, you definitely aren't alone. In fact, nearly half of all six-figure earners are currently living paycheck to paycheck. No way, right? But it's true. Today, we're breaking down this phenomenon that's quietly suffocating modern households. We're going to map out exactly how dual-income families are getting squeezed, and honestly, more importantly, how to escape it.
It really comes down to this wild paradox. Two incomes, a bigger house, but somehow way more stress. It sounds completely counterintuitive. Logic tells us that doubling the household income should, basically halve your financial anxiety. You partner up, combine forces, upgrade your living situation, and celebrate. But for a massive chunk of people out there, that lifestyle upgrade brings this hidden crushing weight. Instead of getting some breathing room, your chest just feels tighter. You're working twice as hard to maintain a life that suddenly feels like it's totally spinning out of your control. So let's figure out exactly how we end up here.
All right, let's dive right into this. Section 1. The two-income illusion. We are totally conditioned to believe that two salaries equal absolute financial freedom. You and your partner get raises, you celebrate those paychecks, and you think, finally, we've made it. But the reality? It's a completely different story. The brutal truth is that as your income goes up, your expenses inevitably go up too. And they don't just creep up, they literally sprint. The moment the household income increases, your standard of living shifts to consume every single new dollar. That financial freedom you were expecting? Gone. It gets completely swallowed up by your new baseline.
So how exactly do those hard-earned paychecks just vanish into thin air? Let's check out Section 2, Anatomy of Lifestyle Inflation.
To really grasp this trap, we've got to talk about lifestyle inflation. Basically, this is the sneaky cycle where your expenses go up right alongside your income, usually showing up as bigger houses or luxury items. And it's so insidious because, well, it doesn't feel like a mistake when you're doing it. You get a promotion, so hey, you deserve that luxury car. You have two incomes, so the bank says you qualify for the massive mortgage. But actually, scratch that. You aren't just buying things, you're inflating the fundamental operating costs of your daily life. And it happens so naturally that most of us don't even realize we're playing the game.
Now, what's really interesting here is how fast these seemingly normal expenses stack up to build a financial prison. It starts with the mortgage for a larger house because, with two incomes, the bank throws a huge approval your way. Then comes the dealership. You get the nice new car, which directly leads to a higher EMI, or equated monthly installment. But wait, it doesn't stop there. A bigger house and a newer car mean higher insurance premiums. Throw in personal loans, a mountain of monthly subscriptions to keep up with everyone else, and this is a big one, childcare. Because both parents are working full-time to sustain this bloated lifestyle, childcare becomes this massive, unavoidable cost. Every single one of these is a fixed monthly expense demanding a slice of those two paychecks.
Which brings us to a pretty scary place. Section 3. The trap springs shut.
Just pause for a second and imagine this giant, flashing red warning sign. What actually happens if one of those incomes just disappears? In a household perfectly optimized to eat up 100% of two full-time salaries, there's absolutely zero margin for error. If one partner loses a job or gets sick or even just wants to step back to be with the kids, the whole math equation completely collapses. The mortgage? It doesn't care that your income got cut in half. The car payments don't pause. The trap is that you're now forced to keep grinding at two demanding jobs not to get ahead, but literally just to stop the pile of bills from crushing you.
Boom, this is the two-income trap. It's a state of extreme financial vulnerability that's cleverly dressed up to look like the American dream. You've got the big house, the pristine cars, the nice clothes, but behind closed doors, you're essentially one layoff away from complete financial ruin. You aren't really wealthy. You're just running a high-revenue, high-expense business with exactly zero profit margin.
But hey, it doesn't have to be this way. Let's pivot and look at Section 4, A Tale of Two Families.
This is such a cool comparison because it brilliantly illustrates the turning point. Look at the massive difference in savings rates between these two mindsets. Family A has engineered their life to stash away 20% of their income. Meanwhile, Family B, who's fully caught in that trap we just talked about, is only saving 5%. Think about how that plays out over time. Family A is basically building a fortress. If one income drops, that 20% buffer gives them real options. They have actual breathing room. Family B, on the other hand, is completely relying on the next paycheck just to survive.
It's not at all about how much these families earn. It's about what percentage of that money is shielded from lifestyle inflation. Family A is living with freedom, and Family B is just living with anxiety.
Let's move on and see how this builds into our ultimate goal. Section 5. Building real wealth.
This shift in thinking right here is a real game changer. While trapped earners buy more liabilities, upgrading the SUV or taking on brand new debt, wealthy investors buy assets. When trapped earners get a raise, they rush right back to that pile of bills, increasing their monthly payments and buying things that literally take money out of their pockets every single month. The wealthy investor mindset is the exact opposite. When they secure a second income or a raise, they buy things that put money back into their pockets. They are hyper-focused on growing their investments, not their monthly obligations.
Okay, so what's the playbook? The path to real wealth comes down to 4 pretty simple steps. Step 1, save first. Before you pay the mortgage, before the car EMI, pay your future self. Step 2, spend later. You only live on what's left over after those savings are totally locked in. Step 3, avoid lifestyle inflation. This is huge. When you get that promotion or the dual income start compounding, keep your expenses exactly where they are. Don't go upgrade the car. And finally, step 4, build real wealth. You take that growing gap between your income and your fixed expenses and you pour it straight into assets. This is the mindset of someone who controls their money rather than letting their money control them.
So the absolutely crucial point to take away today is this. Wealth equals what you keep, not what you earn. Seriously, you could be a family pulling in $500,000 a year, but if you're spending $501,000 a year on massive mortgages, luxury cars, and endless subscriptions, you have zero wealth. You're just a really highly paid participant in the trap. True wealth is that invisible margin. It's the 20% you keep, protect, and invest for tomorrow.
Escaping all of this requires a radical shift in how we actually view money, success, and lifestyle. It's about trading that fake illusion of financial freedom for actual, measurable security. So ask yourself, are you currently working to build a fortress of wealth, or are you just working to fund a really expensive prison? If you're ready to focus on what you keep, make sure to subscribe for more money and wealth lessons. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.